My name's John Barr, and I'm here to give you some pointers on how to make very large ceramic pieces without a lot of power. So, first part of the process is wedging and mixing the clay. This is some clay I used yesterday where a pot fell over. It's a little bit hard, a little bit stiff. So I'm going to use this to show wedging techniques. And I'm going to use this one here, very large, approximately 25 pounds, to throw with. So this is the unpleasant, laborious part of pottery, but it's necessary to drive the air bubbles out, mix the moisture levels. This is very hard clay. This is very soft. If this was too soft for me, I could mix these two together and wedge it up, and then I would have clay, hopefully, that was the perfect moisture level. When you're starting out, you like softer moisture levels. More moisture in the clay means softer clay. That's easier to center and pull. Problem is, later on, in the opening and pulling process, the clay slumps and sags down and won't stand up for you. So you're trying to get all that clay from the bottom to the top. It all happens here in the beginning with the wedging process. Okay, there's lots of different ways to do this. Some people just beat it, but that doesn't mix it. Doing this drives the air bubbles out. Doing this mixes the clay. Put your hands together like butterfly here, roll it back, the cylinder back, and push. So that is surprisingly difficult to do, to get this rhythm. But as you can see, it starts to coil up and wraps around itself each time you roll. So 3 to 4 runs that direction, you roll it back, push, and it starts that roll. Now at this angle, when you hit it and you push, it slides. If you try to do it like this, you don't go anywhere. So when people first start this, it looks simple, but it's all, the key is getting this angle this direction and hitting. I'll bet this took me 4, maybe 8 hours of practice to get this motion to be efficient. So that's your motion. I have all kinds of speculations on what that does. You can see it starts to twist. There was a time when I actually keep track of that twist, making this the top, or bottom or top, and then when I center it on the wheel head, that spirals like that, and hopefully would facilitate things later. I'm not sure that that does anything. So here's, some people pound it into a ball, I pound it into a shape something like this, and then see that little wrinkle there? If you need to get this flat for when it goes down on the wheel head, bang, that'll stay there. So I'm going to tap those out, get that smooth, kind of around that edge. That's basic. And this is a real good size beginner ball, or half that. Most people, when they first start throwing, they're expecting to make the beautiful masterpiece first time. What you need to do is make 25 or 30 balls about this size and start throwing them until they collapse. And just keep doing that over and over again. Think nothing of trying to do anything but center, open, pull a cylinder, then try to mess around with expansion or shaping till the whole thing drops, scrape it off, go to the next ball. So here's a 25-pound block. It takes a certain amount of strength to be a potter, but you can. I've proven it. I learned how to throw pots from pictures of a 75-year-old woman throwing pots. And I was getting my butt kicked by little 2-pound balls. It was very aggravating. The only clue I had from her, from these still pictures, was that she was throwing with just one finger. So, something this size takes some power. A mistake I made as a youth was following through too much like that. Poosh, pops your scapula out. You should release. You're keeping track of the way you're driving this thing. So now you've expanded that far, it's time to shift directions. Oopsie, I'll get you. It's hard not to hold on. So here's a ball. I'm gonna roll this out a little bit and we'll start seeing some bubbles. When some of the clay I have here was mixed in a power.They mixer, and while I was away, my helper turned it on high speed. It mixed in all these tiny bubbles. You've got to turn your clay slow in the mixer. Might be further along than I think. When I drive this down, I should be seeing little wrinkles in the side that show bubbles. There's one. It's really hard to see. Wire, wire, wire. Didn't I just... There it is. So one way to check is to cut it and look in here. And you can see that this stuff was better than I thought. So we're not going to wedge anymore. We're going to start centering. So again, we got these little wrinkles. The more you round things before you go to the wheel head, the less trouble you have when you're beginning. But you know what, that's the end of a segment. Let's do it that way. Here is a ball of clay ready for the wheel head.